Hi, Target. This is Lala. I just want to talk about the mental ward. I wanted to tell you a little bit of the story about what happened to me. I lived in San Diego in 1999, and I had an ex-boyfriend that was living with me that was in the military because he was looking for housing. And I had a neighbor next door that was a so-called friend, what I thought was a so-called friend, but she was interested in dating my ex. But I wanted to fight her way before she had met my ex, and because she was acting a little funny, and it had something to do with another guy that I was dating, not him. But anyway, so she worked for she was going to school for law enforcement, and all I did was wanted to fight the girl, and she was scared, and she went to management, made up a lie. I don't know what she said in that lie, but she got management involved, and then the police got involved, and then next thing I know, I walked into my house one day, and then I started feeling like I was being watched. And then after I felt like I was being watched, I was like, I'm not gonna say anything. So a friend of mine came over and she said, Lala, I feel like I'm being watched in your apartment because she has to use the bathroom. She went to the bathroom, she came back, she said, I feel like I'm being watched. So I was like, okay. So I was returning to my house. I found cameras, I found a microphone about this big, and my telephone and everything. I called the police department to get down to the police department, and I also they were throwing some kind of chemical in my vent, like called sulfur. How I know it's because I recorded my apartment, and I heard sulfur, but I didn't know what it was for. I'll tell you later on what it was for. But anyway, when I took it to the Mission Valley Department in San Diego, Sergeant Kitchell said that we were going to test this out. I didn't even think clearly because I didn't do anything wrong. He said we need to test this and see if this is this our equipment. And I was like, okay. He's like, call back in a couple of days. So I called back in 3 days. He's like, okay, we still running tests on it to see if it's our equipment. And I'm like, okay, okay, but I'm still not thinking, putting anything together. So I called again the next day. And I'm like, Sergeant Kitchell, what's going on? He said, sorry, Miss Davis, but your case has been transferred to the FBI. I'm like, for what? What did I do? Did I do anything wrong? He's like, I'm sorry, Miss Davis can't talk to you. Call the FBI, ask them. Call the FBI, ask them, am I in trouble? Did I do anything so I could turn myself in? They said, no, we don't know what you're talking about. What they do is they microchip. They already know they're going to microchip you, so they just lie. So I'm like, okay, fine. So next thing I know, I had lost my job and I ended up moving to Portland, and this was in 1999. So I drove my car. So while I'm driving my car, all I remember was driving in the fourth lane, and I'm halfway. I'm like about in Grand Pass or oh excuse me, Grand Pass, Oregon. While I'm in Grand Pass, Oregon, all I remember was being pulled over on the side of the road, and they see some people that was construction workers that was working on the side of the street, and they were like, "Do you need an ambulance?" So I was like, "Yes." When they came and got me, put it this way: to make a long story short, they tried to take my memory out. They tried to kill me on the freeway. They speed my vehicle up so it could go faster, like it crashed. For some reason, it didn't crash. Then I ended up in the hospital, lost my memory. They were trying to get rid of my memory for permanently, but luckily it was only gone for 24 hours. So anyway, what I wanted to say was when my mother came to Grand Pass, Oregon to come get me, the police officer tried to swear that they arrested me a week ago, and I'd never been to Grand Pass, Oregon in my life. And my driver's license said San Diego, California. So anyway, they put me in a hospital, and when I got there, they told my mom, they called my mom, and they told me that I couldn't read because my memory had been gone for 24 hours, and the words didn't make any sense on my phone book. So they called through my phone book, and it got a hold to my mom, and my mom came down to the Grand Pass, Oregon, and she came and got me, and they told her that they need to admit me into the mental ward. So to make a long story short, this video is about mental ward. I want to let you know, the first thing they want to do is isolate you once you get to the mental ward. The reason why they do that is because if you don't participate in their programs, which is the art and crafts and not only the art and craft, but visiting and socializing with other people. They're watching you at all times. If you're in your room and you constantly want to be in your room, then your psychiatrist is looking at you. That's why they have cameras there. They're looking at you. If you're isolating yourself and you're sitting in your room all day and you don't want to participate or come out and talk to people, what they're doing is they're getting ready to evaluate you, and they're going to label you schizophrenic or bipolar or any other those other diagnosed. And also, so what I'm trying to tell you is, if you go get admitted to the hospital, you need to go out and associate with people and go to those art and craft things, even if you don't want to go. And talk to people and make yourself eat. I know you ain't gonna want to eat your appetite because you're confused. You're trying to figure out what's going on. You don't know that you're in a mind control program, electronic harassment program, remote viewing. You don't know that that's what's going on. You're dealing with satanic people that have microchipped you, without your knowledge, in the hospital or at the dentist's office. In my case, when I had surgery, they microchipped me there, and then when I went to the dentist, my whole mouth is full of microchips, and also in my ovaries, and they also gave me cervical cancer. They blew the cervical cancer up. So anyway, I just want to let you know, if you go into a mental ward, please do not isolate yourself, because the psychiatrist is watching you while you sleep, and they monitor you, and they know exactly how many hours of sleep that you have slept. And if you don't participate in those programs, they're going to put you in the state ward. So this is for targeted individuals and people with mind control, or people that don't know that they're microchipped. When you go into a mental ward, this is what to expect. Please go and participate in those groups. And if they ask you what are your goals, please make it short. Don't go in there and say you want to lose 100 pounds and then find a job, because then it's going to be, you're going to be in there for about 2-3 years, maybe even more. Make it very simple. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.